And to this day, I don't know. I mean, I've never talked to the clerk in the 7-Eleven. I don't know for a fact that she was in that store.
Okay. I'm going to put you on the speakerphone, okay? You all set? We all set? You got it? Everybody here?
Yep.
Okay. So, it's Prosecutor Walton.
As a mother, why can't I go to the Berkeley Police Department or go to any of the detectives, working or retired, or at least see that? Why do we have to pay money to get these reports? Yeah, see, I'm with you there. And then I told you that, Bob investigated the routes and all that Jill took, and he was with Chris, he did the Chris routine. There was a lot of talk about Chris being taken from the bowling alley. And to this day, I don't know. I mean, I've never talked to the clerk in the 7-Eleven. I don't know for a fact that she was in that store. Other than someone said, well, yeah, that's what the clerk said. Yeah, I waited on her. But then I've had other people say, no, we saw her at the bowling alley. And I don't believe she went to the bowling alley. She was a bowler. I worked there. Glenn worked there. The kids all bowled on leagues there. They were in and out of there. They were very familiar with the bowling alley. But yeah, there's some question whether she was taken from the 7-Eleven or the bowling alley. And then I've also heard that she was seen talking to police in the parking lot. I mean, you wouldn't believe the different stories that have, through the years, have developed. Well, yeah, she was here, she was there, she was talking to this person, she wasn't. Wouldn't somebody call me and say, this is what one report says, and at least give me one report? But no one's ever told me exactly what happened. To this day, I have no idea what happened. I really don't know. Possibly, but I don't know. This is 2013. Now, why can't you tell me what happened in 1977? Why can't you, as a mother, why can't I go to the Berkeley Police Department or go to any of the detectives, working or retired, or at least see that? Why do we have to pay money to get these reports? But between I had to pay for the press conference, I had to pay for a PR firm to set up the press conference. I had to pay for security at the press conference, which was ridiculous. I mean, but that's just part of it. My expenses in traveling, and just my phone, my cell phone, my secret cell that I used to talk to Bob and stuff. My gosh, I got thousands into minutes on that. And I'm not asking. I don't want money. Actually, I have to say, Bob sent up a donation page for me, and he set it up. And because of my ex-husband, who made a rather nasty remark on that particular page about soliciting for money, the company that ran the donation page, it wasn't Kickstarter, I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, they removed the page. And any money collected would have all gone to benefit some type of a children's program, set up scholarships. I don't want them to be able to come back and say that the family was not cooperating. So he did. He gave them their DNA. But he was just mad that if they did a little homework, they'd have his DNA. It's on record for 22 years. That's what I thought. But here's an interesting statement. One of the detectives walked out of Erica's, when they went to get Erica's DNA, walked out, and I won't mention name, but said to her, I'll see you in court. Now, did she say that jokingly because she's a detective? I'll see you in court, meaning that she's not wild, but I mean, she doesn't hold back either. She says her piece. Did she say it jokingly, or did they say it meaning that, something's coming up in the future? Well, obviously it's been 2 years. I just thought that was an odd statement to say as they were leaving. See you in court. Unless it was in reference to the court case, which. And here's another thing, though, that has always disturbed me, is that the Kings they claim that they didn't know about the lawsuit, and they knew about the lawsuit days before. I had called Kathy, I asked them to attend. They claimed they didn't know anything about it, yet Mr. King's lawyer was there. If they didn't know anything about it, how did his lawyer know about it? You know what I mean? Yeah. The Bob thing to me is so off the wall. It is so crazy, but it's kind of like you just had to be there, you know. Remember, I've had over 1,500 conversations with this man. Over 2 years, solid 2 years plus of phone calls every day, if not sometimes 3 and 4 times a day. And then I'm not going to say every day, but 5 out of 7, and some of them 2 and 3 times a day, lengthy phone calls, always involving the kids. We never touch, I mean, once in a while we'd touch on something personal, I mean, but I know nothing about him. But it was always about the case. It was always about the kids. It was always about his ideas, you know, his theory and what he thought. And everything he said, and again, I'm not a bright person, but it all tied in. It all made sense.
Okay. I want to put you on the speakerphone, okay? You all set? Okay. Are we all set? Yes. You got it? Everybody here?
Yep.
Okay. So, it's Prosecutor Walton, of course, you know, Corey and Mike McCabe, the undersheriff of Oakland County.
Ike had indicated that you have had conversations with somebody that you think that might be the person. Is that correct?
That's the person I was referencing to.
Yeah, you were referencing him during that. You've been riding around with him?
Right.
Is that recently?
No, this all goes back to 77 through probably 84, 85 when our relationship ended.
So you had no contact with him since 85?
That's correct.
Do you know that he's still alive?
Yes, I do.
You know that for a fact?
For a fact.
Are you willing to tell us who he is?
I indicated that if I could get a little more on the Ellen letter, and it looked like, because I would also, because of the content of the Ellen letter, there are several points to that letter that would tell me that you wrote it, but I would be interested in where it originated from, interpretations of the New Year, that in the modern era it could be interpreted as what we consider our New Year versus, and they used to call it a Samhain holiday, and then it was turned to a Halloween holiday, and then it was referenced to the Celtic year. Okay, we also have something else that we stumbled across, and we're still working on nailing it down, but I'll give you the logistics of it. With the exception, because there was confusion as to whether Steuben's body was left in Southfield or Oak Park at the time, if you use Oak Park, it creates an acronym that gives you a connection between that Eli cult and a Shakespearean poem that basically states, "For the form of things unknown." How that acronym works out is something we just don't have nailed down yet. So it's possible it's nothing.
Okay. Where do you want to go from here?
Well, that's up to you. I mean, you know, if you were to tell me that you guys have looked at these options and you've discredited them, or that you don't believe that there's anything there, then, you know, I don't want to waste your time any further. One of the victim's family members. And, you know, what I took away from those 2 weeks of conversations is that, you know, the families are over there blaming themselves because they got nobody else to blame.